I think it got real tough because I think you're going to play against a team that's going to be very physical with you. It's going to be a grueling series. They're not going to be scared. Their superstars gotten much better this year. Added 4 points to his average. He was great in the playoffs last year.
Talking about Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell, he was great last year in the playoffs. And I think defensively, if you look at how they played through the regular season, they really defended Houston really, really well. And obviously that's their makeup. Can they muster up and score enough points to win 4 games? I don't know if they can do that, but this is going to be a 6-7 game series. This worked out really poorly for the Houston Rockets.
So all of these things had to happen for the Rockets to end up in the 4 spot. 2 nights ago, they had to lose at the buzzer to Oklahoma City. That set this all into play. After went into that fourth quarter up 13, lose at the buzzer. Then last night, all that needs to happen for them to be the 2 seed is Denver lose. Minnesota is up 11 on Denver with 3 minutes left in that game. Denver scores 15 straight points. Okay, so now the Rockets are the 3 seed unless Portland wins. Portland is down 25 at the half, only plays 6 guys. They come all the way back.
Amazing. And
they win. So now the Rockets are the 4 seed. My friends in Houston are panicked. The best record in the NBA post-All-Star break was for naught. I'm here to tell you, relax. You own the Utah Jazz. You swept them in the regular season last year. You beat them in 5 in the playoffs last year. You're going to see, oh, well, they split the season series this year. Yeah, you lost the first 2, which were early in the year, the Carmelo Anthony era of the Rockets, the pre-James Harden explosion part of the season. You played them twice more recently. You beat them soundly both times. The Rockets are good. And now, so the other, okay, so even to get past Utah, but now you have Golden State. Listen, you're going to have to go through Golden State at some point. Like, to me, this season is no better or worse if you lose to Golden State in the 2nd round or the 3rd round, wherever. If you lose to Golden State, you're no better than you were last year. If you beat Golden State, this season was the success you wanted it to be. So people in Houston are panicked and upset and think everything was squandered. I think the way it fell, it feels like everything went against you. I don't think it hurt them that bad.
Yeah, I do agree with you as far as if I do lose to Golden State, it doesn't matter either the 2nd or 3rd round if you're Houston. But if I am going into a series with Golden State, I would much rather finish my series first before they finish their series, this time with the Clippers. I'm pretty certain of this. I got a little more concerned because I know Golden State is they're going to do what they have to do against the Clippers. So how many more extra days does Steph Curry and the rest of this team have over me in getting that rest? And this year, they have a home court advantage. So I do believe it's a huge advantage compared to last year going against them. I don't want, man, Utah has been a tough out in the playoffs for a long time. Now, I do believe if they're able to get those 2 games in Utah, because the players could have got a lot of rest in Utah. They don't know hanging out and everything. So they couldn't be, if they get a sweep, they would be the most rested team after spending those few days there in Utah for games 3 and 4.
If you are Utah, so how are you going to slow down this Rockets team? Is it just going to all go through Rudy Gobert? Are you going to make him go in there and take away half of Harden's game?
Well, obviously, I think with Utah, they're a very good defensive team. They've been there under Quinn Snyder. They'll have a defensive plan in place to try to slow down James Harden. But obviously, I think for Utah, it's all about scoring. Can they score enough points to keep up with the Houston Rockets? If they can't score enough points, there's no way they can be in this series. I disagree with Nick a little bit. I believe it's going to be a 6-7 game series. I don't think Houston's going to just walk through them like they did last year. I believe at home, Utah is going to be capable of getting those 2 games at home. And I think it's going to go 6 or 7 games. Do I believe that Houston's going to lose the series? No. Playing Golden State early or late, it doesn't matter. You're right about that. Actually, it may work into their benefit playing them early. James Harden's probably a little bit more fresher going into the 2nd round.
Okay.
So, you look at that situation when because he's going to be the main guy, obviously, coming to the Golden State series. So I don't mind when they play him at 2nd or 3rd round. But a 1st round matchup, you want to pick that because if it's a situation, if you can get it done in 4 or 5, I think they just create themselves a 6 or 7 game series.
You handled the offensive side as far as the Jazz. They definitely have to be the most effective offensively that they've been all season going against someone like the Rocket. But I'm going to go with you, Jenna, and Rudy Gobert. I believe that they double team with the pick and roll. Take the ball out of Harden's hand. So if they're able to do that, we know Houston likes to go with the pick and roll. They like to go with their big Capella. So if I'm Rudy Gobert, Jenna, I know that's the reason why you brought up his name and everything. I'm trapping with him He's one of the best centers we have in the league. I'm bringing him out of the paint, trapping, and forcing the Rockets. Let those other players force them to score.
Beat you.
Yes.
Force those guys to beat you. Force P.J. Tucker to hit corner threes. Force Eric Gordon to play well. I get all that. Now, one element on this series specifically. James Harden, one of the reasons they lost in what I think was the worst moment for James Harden this series, they lost to the Spurs a couple years ago where Kawhi had got hurt, where Manu ends up blocking Harden. Harden has like a dozen turnovers in the final game. Harden could not hit floaters. The Spurs, the entire series, dared him to hit mid-ranger floaters, and he couldn't do it. The part of his game, other than the step-back three that has improved the most year over year, is he is now one of the best floaters shooters in the league. Why does that matter? Because Gobert, that's how you get it over Rudy Gobert, is you shoot those floaters. So there's that element. Where I disagree with both of you, and maybe with Daryl Morey as well, because I think he probably agree with you guys. If you're telling me Houston's going to play one of these three teams in the first round, Utah, Oklahoma City, or San Antonio, I'd rather play Utah. Oklahoma City, we talked about the element they bring and when we thought they might be playing Houston. San Antonio, the residual effects, even if you move past the Spurs, of your next opponent getting to look at how Pop defended you, what schemes Pop threw out you, the sets Pop made you go against, and then being able to use that against you with better players, I think that's damaging. So now, the best would have been the Clippers, obviously. Everyone would have wanted to draw the Clippers in the first round. I get that. But of those three teams, I'd rather play Utah if I'm
there's
Houston.
only one good draw, and that's the Clippers. That's why the West is what
tough.
it is. But I know you talk about Pop. The person we don't talk about is Quinn Snyder. He's one of the best X and O's guys that we have in the NBA. And Utah, Nick, it's not him and I, man, through the years. It's always been tough in Utah.
It's true.
Their team is always made up a certain way. They have one of the real home court advantages that we have in the NBA. And, man, Houston, man, they go cold a quarter. Okay, now.
Oh, that's fair. Those are all fair points. I'm not. And Utah, by the way, the three best teams in the West post All-Star break: Houston, Golden State, Utah. I'm not acting like Utah's not a really good team. I just think that they're not a good enough offensive team, I believe, to give Houston real trouble.
All right.